Hello, friends. Froggy, the President of the United States of America, here on KRFF 95.9, RadioFreeFargo.org. We're streaming everywhere on this blue and green marble. We aim to get into your ear hole, and it's a beautiful day here in the upper Midwest. I don't know where y'all hailing from, but if you up here, specifically Fargo, it's a little windy, but it's over in the 70s, so we'll take it. Again, what in the world with Wilson is what you got yourself into for the next hour. We're going to talk about some crazy stuff that I've curated for us to discuss. It's going to be crazy. This show is formerly known as Canna-Talk ND with Wilson, and I've branched into finding an hour's worth of crazy stories. This is the third show, and I personally feel like it's going to be hard to find the kind of crazy I want to project to my audience. My daughter, however, feels if I could talk about cannabis for an hour for the last 5 years, I can find things interesting to discuss when there's a varied, like we live in a crazy world, crazy stuff happening all the time. It's just a matter, I suppose, of me finding it. All right. This show is brought to you by Black Cottage Alchemy. Black Cottage Alchemy on Facebook, 1,200 megs of locally grown hemp whipped up into a fun tub of outer body butter for your outer body. Thank you, Black Cottage Alchemy, for sponsoring this show. I spent many years on the drugs. I believe God helped me kick that. I'm 4 years clean. And I show him props every Sunday. Antioch Church, 417 Main Avenue, 10 a.m. We do a recovery class. If you've got a monkey on your back or you've kicked that monkey on your back, but you can feel that little banana eater pulling on your pant leg, come on through. We believe he can help you. He did it for me, bruh. Anyway, welcome to What in the World with Wilson, the third installment of my new show. Thank you for joining me. After me, Stinky Arts Music Mart. Stick around for that. There's other stuff going on every day here at the best independent radio station in the world as far as I'm concerned. Nonprofit Radio Free Fargo, 95.9. KRFFLP's listener supported. That's you, bruh. Radio Free Fargo receives no government support nor grant monies presently, and traditional advertising is not an option for nonprofits. We do have underwriting, which is different. Radio Free Fargo believes in trying to represent the widest spectrum of music and talking. If you believe in community radio and like to help, visit our website, www.radiofreefargo.org. Click on the donate button. Again, What in the World with Wilson is an hour where I curate just stories that are crazy, that make you go, what in the world in the world? Because it's a big marble. There's a lot going on. And so we'll get into it. And then I'll throw some music in at you, too, of course. But let's look at this. We'll give you a quick one here. And then we'll play a musical break. Just a little teaser. Man pleads no contest for shooting Chipotle worker over guacamole in Southfield. Now, let's just let that title marinate a little bit. I don't know that there's any time where any kind of disruption around guacamole should ever include the word shooting somebody. I mean, is guacamole worth shooting somebody over? This guy believes, he believes that. I personally feel that nothing's worth getting shot over guacamole discussions. A man accused of shooting at a Chipotle worker after he was upset. And like I said, you got to be pretty upset about his serving of guacamole. He pleaded no contest to his charges, and I feel like a guy who pleads no contest is a guy who still feels like he's right. Police said 32-year-old Aaron Brown of the D called a Chipotle female employee a derogatory name after he was upset about a serving of guacamole. Video inside the Chipotle incident was released. You can go and check that out. Brown is seen on surveillance video going around the counter, and packing his order. Well, that was nice of him, and some guac. When a worker tried to stop him, Brown attacked him. Shortly after that, police said Brown fired a shot, hitting the 21-year-old employee in the knee. Police said Brown drove off with his wife. who's probably just sitting in the vehicle waiting for her man. But he was taken into custody. He probably didn't say anything either, right? He just jumps in. All right, I got our food. Let's ride. But he was taken into custody not long after the shooting. Brown pleaded no contest to 1 count of assault with intent to do great bodily harm and 1 count of weapons felony firearm. He had 2 additional charges, but they were dropped. So, recap, man pleads no contest for shooting a Chipotle worker over guacamole in Southfield. And that is a what in the world with Wilson kind of stuff you're going to get into this week. I got some songs, I got news, and I got this vibrant personality I'm going to share with y'all free of charge on What in the World with Wilson on KRFF 95.9. This is brand new with my girl, Mavis Staples. Here's Full Circle, Mono Neon.
That's all right. That's all right. This is a fun song.
And I agree with you, Mavis. It really is a fun song. Full Circle. Feature my girl Mavis Staples, Mono Neon. He's a crocheted up, full-bodied crocheted up. Everything he wears is crocheted. He's even got a crocheted sock on the end of his bass. Nice tune. KRFF 95.9, RadioFreeFargo.org. You're listening to What in the World? ! Question mark with Wilson. I got a bunch of stuff that makes you go like, what in the world is that? And what in the world indeed? Thank you for joining me. Right after me will be Stinky Hearts Music Mart. Again, it's a beautiful day in the upper Midwest. Enjoy it because the bottom about to fall out this thing, and you're going to be right underneath it. This is from the UK Independent, and this is an interesting story. King of West African tribe returns to gardening job in Canada. Hey, you know, kings like good yards. You know what I mean? I mean, kings love standing at the window of their castle and looking out at their stuff. And it's usually a yard. So it makes sense. Again, King of West African tribe returns to gardening job in Canada. Eric Manu returned to British Columbia to raise cash for a 6,000 strong tribe. Now, I don't know about tribes. I don't even know if that's a big one. I mean, is 6,000 a lot? How big a king are you? The king of a West African tribe has returned to Canada in order to raise money to provide health care for his new subjects. Again, I have questions. You know, what do you mean new? They just showed up? Eric Manu became royalty when a 67-year-old uncle, when a 67-year-old uncle Dat, it's with an A, so it could be anything, passed away last year. After living in Canada for 3 years with his wife and small son, he moved back to southern Ghana to take up his birthright because he's now the new king. He said it's a huge experience. You have to embrace it with passion. And the next time I become king, I'm going to take duly note that. It's something of my heritage, my culture, and traditions. But now the chief of the Akon tribe has returned to the North American country and taken his old job back. Moving back to British Columbia, he has returned to landscaping and gardening in the town in a bid to raise cash for his 6,000-strong tribe. Mr. Manu told the news, sometimes we go to the job site and they say, you are the chief. I saw you on TV. Why are you doing the landscaping? This is humbleness, you understand. Anytime I'm in Canada, I'm proud to work for my boss. When he first moved, his boss, Susan, started a foundation called To the Moon and Back, which sent the young king off with a shipment full of supplies, laptops, and whatnot. The owner of Landscape Consultants, she traveled to Ghana for the ceremony and said they're beautiful inside and out and they have absolutely nothing. And you can come here and most of us are miserable and we want something more. Ain't that the truth? The money Mr. Manu hopes to raise from his several months stay in Canada will be invested in improving health care. The clinic only has a midwife and a few nurses. There is no doctor on site. On a side note, I heard there's a homeless camp, about 10 people downtown Fargo here, and one of the women that I guess lives there, said somebody they didn't know showed up that was pregnant, like super in labor, and wanted this homeless camp to help her deliver a baby. They called the ambulance and police, and they came, and the baby's fine. But what in the world, right? I mean, it's all fun and games, so you're hanging out in a homeless camp, and somebody going into labor wants you to take care of it for him. It's like, man, I can't even figure out how to get a home. I'm not a doctor. But anyway, that's a local news story for you that most people don't know, unless you're in, the medical or, fire department. This is from KHOU 11, Spring ISD. I don't know what that means. 4 employees placed on leave due to sleepy sticker claim. Now, this is interesting. If you're a teacher or you work daycare or anything, this is an interesting story. 4 staff members were placed on administrative leave while their police department investigates the allegations. 4 Spring Independent School District staff members were placed on leave as investigators look into allegations that they were giving preschool students sleeping aids. In a statement released Wednesday, the district said the safety of our students is our highest priority. And they got to say it. But like I said, they don't have to believe it. They can hate kids. But when they're making statements, right, you got to say the safety of our students is our highest priority, of course. And we take every allegation of misconduct seriously. Of course, you got to say it. I think it's against the law to not say it. So again, it doesn't matter if you mean it or you feel that way. You're just going to say that when they ask you. Certainly if you're in administration. So here's the allegations. You guys ready for this? The story on Tuesday night when he talked to parents of preschool students at a Spring Elementary School claimed teachers gave their children sleeping aids. They said their children told them they were given sleepy stickers that would make them fall asleep. Sleepy stickers. Every kid likes stickers, except for my kid, of course. I feel like, why trust a sticker, right? I mean, and what are stickers? I mean, they're just what are stickers really? An email from Northgate Crossing Elementary School principal on Tuesday said 2 staff members were put on leave, which I feel like that means they can just come back, I guess, after allegedly providing sleeping supplements to students. 4-year-old Lane Luviano says, the sticker make me fall asleep. Lane broke the case open in September when she snuck one of the stickers home. Ah, boy, old Lane, she's got kind of a future in detectivery. Lisa Luviano, Lane's mother, said the sticker was suspicious, and she immediately started doing some research online. That's crazy. So, the sticker was suspicious. She starts doing research. She quickly finds the sleeping patches being sold on Amazon. The patches are for adults and contain melatonin and other ingredients. Lisa said she took what she found at the school, but said other parents were never notified, even after she told administrators. Again, they like to keep that close, but when forced, they're going to say something like, conduct is our highest priority, right? But they certainly didn't tell any of the other parents because they didn't want to cause anything. But once the something is caused, then they come up with those canned quotes. Anyway, that's when Lisa took matter into her own hands, started contacting other parents. I showed it to my 5-year-old, and she said, yeah, that's the sleepy sticker, Melissa Guilford said. Guilford's 4-year-old daughter is also in Lane's class and also went online to research the sticker. They're called Sleep Z-Patch, and if you read the ingredients, it has a lot of things I've never even heard of, Guilford said. Nayala Abdullah said she noticed changes in her son since school started. She said he was crying more than usual and wasn't eating. She said he would bring home lunches that had not been touched. They're giving them drugs to make them sleep to keep them quiet. Parents said they met with the administrators who told them not to discuss the allegations because doing so would harm the investigation. They said 2 teachers' aides were put on leave on Tuesday. I don't see anything that makes these actions criminal because there seems to be no actual or potential harm to the children. And what? I don't know. I mean, can't you say they were drugged? They're children. As far as civil liability, parents could sue the teachers for gross negligence, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Keeping in mind, teachers and districts have significant civil immunity protections in Texas. They did look up the clova patches used, and they don't appear to be marketed to children, which raises the question about what effect it has on children versus its claim for use with adults, which I would imagine that's... Let me just say this one thing. When my daughter was little and she was really sick, she had a really high fever, and I needed to get her some children's aspirin and fever reducer. But all I had at the time was Robitussin for adults, and I didn't know it had alcohol in it. I'm an idiot. But it had all the, it would reduce the symptoms. And like I said, the fever was so high, I just wanted to get it down and then deal with it. And man, I don't want to say she got drunk, but she did walk into an elevator door. And that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So I would argue if it's got to be criminal, right? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't sound right, you know. Now, if it was something that children could take, I get it. But they don't be, like she said, they don't appear to be marketed to children, which raises the question about what effect it has, and that should make it a problem. Now, this is a crazy story. I almost feel like I should wait on this one, but it is what it is. This is a Vice article, and if you pay attention to the news, this was something that was pretty intense. It was called a snowed-in candle from Bath and Body Works. Now, if you've ever looked at this, and I would encourage everybody to type it in so you can see what this thing looks like. Bath and Body Works quickly removed and apologized for a snowed-in candle design that unintentionally resembled KKK members. But the problem is it can be unintentional. But once you look at it, you can't deny it. I mean, it's stinking hoods on a candle. It's stinking the KKK on a candle. It just is. You just can't say, oh, that is something other than that. That's exactly what it is. Bath and Body Works, the store you can smell from the other side of the mall, quickly removed a 3-wick candle from its shelves and apologized after people on social media pointed out that the candle's label design did not look like a snowflake, which it was what it was supposed to be. Rather, it looked like a bunch of hooded KKK members staring daggers into the customer, especially the black customers. This is one of those stories that could cause you to roll your eyes and think that the woke mob has struck again. Oh, snowflakes got their precious little feelings hurt. But then you take one look at this candle, and you should. You think, no, the precious woke snowflakes are 100% correct on this one. That's not a literal snowflake. That's a bunch of Klan members staring right at me. It's pretty undeniable. It's one of those, now that I see it, I can't unsee it kind of things. No matter how many times you tell me it's a snowflake, I'm going to see 6 Klan members. And again, type it in, Google it, look at it. It's intense. Bath and Body Works issued a public apology, and what everybody's talking about now, of course, is because some people have bought them. They got them in the mail. They canceled it right away, right? I mean, as soon as they realized they were pushing, racial candles for Christmas time, they yanked them. Right? But they'd already sold them, though. And so now, if you go on eBay or some probably dark web, right? Go on dark web, you can get some fentanyl and a Klan candle. Which reminds me, you're listening to What in the World with Wilson, and this certainly applies, I would say. Every Thursday I get in here, 4 o'clock, and we push through till 5. Me trying to get you to go, what did he say? That's kind of the goal here. I'm kind of wanting you to go, what in the world? I mean, I'm telling you that's what it is. I kind of want you to say it yourself when I say something like this. So, Bath and Body Works, of course, issued a public apology because, again, it's their bread and butter. They have to, even if they were racist, even if they were KKK themselves, they would say something like this. We are committed to listening to our teams and customers and committed to fixing any mistakes we make, even those that are unintentional, like this one. We apologize to anyone we've offended and are swiftly working to have this item removed and are evaluating our process going forward. But like I said, so they've just swapped the labels. I would imagine they're just going to swap a label for less, a less racial label, maybe with not Ku Klux Klan members on it. I'm just guessing. But anyway, my thing is like I said, these are out on the market. I mean, some have been leaked and slipped through the cracks. I mean, I wouldn't want to burn one in my house, but I'd laugh if you had one. Right? Well, why don't I play some music and then we'll get back into this. This is brand new. This is John Batiste. He's going to do an old classic with a little gospel blues flair. This is wordless. But that's what I do here. So and I don't know how to pronounce this. There's a couple dots above the U. So this is John Batiste, Fieur Elise on 95.9. Wait, let me push play. Let me do that again. Here's Fieur Elise, Batiste on 95. Fieur Elise. John Batiste, brand new, here on 95.9. RadioFreeFargo.org. We're streaming everywhere on this blue and green marble. We can get into your ear hole, and I love to do it. Programming on 95.9 FM Radio Free Fargo is being underwritten by Drummer's Journey. Drummer's Journey offers percussion instruments, hardware, electronics, accessories, and more. They have full service for drummers, including repair, custom building, and lessons. Drummer's Journey is located at Highway 10 East Mall in Moorhead, Minnesota. Their hours are Monday through Thursday, 11 to 7, Fridays and Saturdays, 11 to 5, Sundays, noon to 5. For more info, check drummersjourney.com. They have a profile on Facebook. Well, let's keep cruising through these stories, huh? There's something. Are they not something? I got one for you. You don't know what's coming. No, you don't. But that's all right. Okay? That's all right. Here we do it. Let's do it. You guys ready? This is the AP News here. Woman pleads guilty to trying. Now, whoever wrote this article can't do it right, because this ain't right. Woman pleads guilty to trying to smuggle. That ain't right. Woman pleads guilty trying to smuggle. They put in too many twos. Woman pleads guilty trying to smuggle 29 turtles across a Vermont lake into Canada by kayak. All interesting things that we need to look at here. A woman from China pleaded guilty on Friday to attempting to smuggle 29 eastern box turtles, a protected species, I might add, across the Vermont Lake into Canada by kayak. Wan Yi Ng, I'm not sure how that, what is that, sodium? 41, was arrested on the morning of June 28 at an Airbnb in Canaan as she was about to get into an inflatable kayak. Oh, it ain't even a real kayak. This is insane. All right, so she gets into her floaty with a duffel bag on Lake Wallace, according to a Border Patrol agent's affidavit filed in federal court. Agents had been notified by the Mountie, that's those sharp-dressed-looking lads on a horse, that two other people, including a man who was believed to be her husband, had started to paddle an inflatable watercraft from the Canadian side of the lake toward the U.S., according to court documents. The agent searched her heavy duffel bag. This is crazy. All right, so the agent searched her heavy duffel bag and found 29 live eastern box turtles individually wrapped in socks. Now, my head is like, was it wrapped in socks, or did you stick the turtle in the sock and then wrap the sock? So at the bottom of the sock foot is a box turtle? And why? I don't get it. So eastern box turtles are known to be sold on the Chinese black market. Now, you guys want to guess for how much? I certainly couldn't guess. It's insane. I mean, when you think about it, $1,000, the Chinese black market. And where is this black market? You're rolling in with a duffel bag with turtles, sock-filled turtles? You're like, yo, I got sock bag. Is this the black market? I could sell my turtles? Oh, yes, please, come in. What? $1,000 each. So she had, $30,000 worth of box turtles in a duffel bag, but she couldn't afford anything but an inflatable raft. I mean, you couldn't have got a canoe, bruh? What are we doing? Her cell phone was seized, and a search by law enforcement found communication showing that she tried to smuggle the turtles into Canada so that they could eventually be sold for profit in Hong Kong. According to the plea agreement, NG from Hong Kong was living in Canada. She pleaded guilty on Friday to one count of unlawfully attempting to export and send 29 eastern box turtles out of the United States. Now, here, of course, the last sentence is going to be what she's going to get out of this, and it's insane. All right? She's scheduled to be sentenced in December and faces up to 10 years in prison. Right? 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000. Now, here's the thing. If you've ever watched prison shows, when you get into prison, you got to bring your paperwork. Usually, I mean, as a dude, the paperwork comes, you're carrying it up in yourself. So, you pull out the paperwork because they're going to ask for it. Now, I'd like to say I'm a smuggler and leave it at that. And they're like, well, let's see your paperwork. And they're going to find out that you're a turtle smuggler, bruh. How are you going to do in prison? People going to respect it or or discredit it? How are they going to treat you in prison, you a box turtle smuggler? I mean, are you a genius? I mean, people like, you can get money for box turtles? Oh, man, there's a whole black market thing in Hong Kong. $1,000 a turtle, bruh. All you got to do is get across this lake in an inflatable raft. Man, that's Crazy. This from the UPI. Baby born in microbrewery parking lot honored with special beer. What a sentence. A baby born in the parking lot of his parents' favorite microbrewery, which kind of makes you wonder what it doesn't make sense, right? What you guys were drinking in Michigan was named after the business, which in turn created a special brew to honor the newborn. Aaron and Kyle Baker were on their way from Vicksburg to Bronson in Kalamazoo on the baby's due date when they realized they would not make it in time. But if you don't think you're going to make it in time, you keep going, right? I mean, you keep going. You know, how you stop? Let's stop. Pull into this McDonald's. We'll just have the baby there. What? They called for an ambulance and pulled over into the parking lot at One Well Brewing, which happens to be their favorite brewery. And baby Forrest Wells Baker was born mere moments later. We've been joking that Forrest just wanted to swing by for a quick beer on the way to hospital, just like his dad would. When people first heard, everybody thought we were just sitting there having a beer when I went into labor, and of course that's what I thought. One Well Brewing celebrated baby Forrest Wells' arrival by coming with a blood orange blonde ale, which his parents were invited to come help mix at the brewery. The beer, aptly named Special Delivery, is due to be tapped later this month. Now, I don't know if they're going to get a kickback. One Well owner, Chris O'Neill, joked that while it be another 21 years before baby Wells can enjoy a pint, his arrival might earn him a free beer. His arrival might earn him free beer for life. Now, that'd be pretty sick, right? That'd be pretty sick. You're listening to What in the World with Wilson. I'm Wilson. The station is 95.9, RadioFreeFargo.org if you're nowhere near a local radio. You know, if you don't know how to use a dial. So, there's that. Anyway, prickly mayor bans cactus plants in buildings. The mayor of Plettenberg in North Rhine-Westphalia banned the spiky plants from municipal buildings after a man required medical attention after injuring himself on a cactus in a school building. You know, now it sounds crazy. You're like, what? You know, I mean, it sounds weird. But cactuses, man, are dangerous. I mean, you push a baby into a cactus, you know, or a 2-year-old all sleeped up on sleepy stickers. You push a poor little sleepy stickered up baby into a cactus, it hurt. The mayor near Dusseldorf banned the plants from buildings after a man needed attention after injuring himself. Okay. What was an injury to the adult man's arm could easily have been a serious injury to the face for a small child in the same place. However, cactuses have been around since what? Since donkeys? I don't know. Consul reportedly said the nature of the injury could not be disclosed due to the need to protect personal rights and privacy of our staff. Let me guess he sat on it. In a letter to local state workers, Mayor Ulrich Schult wrote, due to the current situation, from this point on, all official and private cacti must be removed from the municipal's building immediately. The mayor said the ban was being undertaken because such plants could cause ugly injuries. He said cacti would be banned not only in schools and nurseries, but from all municipal spaces. So we'll see how that goes. I you know, quite frankly, the next time I'm looking to go to a very safe place, you know, prickly free, you know, I'm going to go there, you know. Attaboy. Cactuses are horrible. All right, this is from Sky News. I don't think anybody knows what's coming next, but I do. Police. Now, this is great. This is great. Okay. Police discover drugs in bag labeled. Are you ready what this labeled bag says? Definitely not a bag full of drugs. All right. I didn't even know they made these, and I'm not on the drugs currently. Thank God. But when I was, man, I wish I had a bag that said this. So a bag that said definitely not a bag full of drugs, and there's a picture of it. It's beautiful. Definitely not a bag full of drugs, it says. And if you Google this, you'll see next to it is a pistol, a scale, a bunch of cash, pills, meth. I mean, everything that isn't drugs is in this bag, all right? So the stash was discovered in Portland when officers stopped a driver and passenger inside an allegedly stolen vehicle. Posting about the incident on X, the Portland Police Bureau said scales, cash, and a loaded gun was also found. Pictured along with the items recovered from the vehicle was a small brown makeup bag with the words, quote, definitely not a bag full of drugs written on the front. Despite the claim on the vanity case, more than 10 grams of fentanyl and meth was reportedly found inside. That, my friends, deserves me to put my hands together. Definitely not a bag full of drugs. they find more than 10 grams of fentanyl in meth. That is beautiful. I mean, not for them. And what's interesting, because Portland has decrimed a lot of these things, I don't know what kind of trouble they're going to even get into. All right. Now, I got something for you here. This is from ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Indiana man robs woman at gunpoint, then asks her out on social media. "You was too pretty to rob," read one of the messages, along with saying he would pay her back. Good old Indianapolis, right? What started as a normal walk to her mailbox turned into being robbed at gunpoint before being asked out, WRTV reported. I think especially as a young female, it's something you always think about but never think it will happen to you, Amber Baran said. For Baran, it's still hard to wrap her mind around what happened late last month. I mean, I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around it, and I just heard about it. "I had a man come up and try to rob me at gunpoint after I got off work late one night," she said. According to court documents, she was grabbing her mail from the mailbox on the southeast side of Indianapolis. I don't know what that means. When a man walked up to her with a gun. He took it out of his pocket to show me what was going on. "Let me into your house." "I did not do that," she said. Baran says she gave the man, identified as Damian Boyce, roughly $100 in cash. "He really tried to rob me of my own things, but he took away my sense of safety from my own home. Boyce got the money, but that's not all he appeared to be after." Now, here's where this story gets a little wackadoo. Court documents state Boyce then pointed his gun at her and told her, "Listen, lady, add me on Facebook." What a great... You weren't good enough with the cash, bruh? Yeah, okay, now you need her social. All right. Add me on Facebook. Now you're being... Just imagine that. You're being held on gunpoint. The guy's pointing. You think you're going to die. He's like, "Add me on Facebook." Of course you're going to. He's like, "Hey, man, add me on my IG." All right. Okay. She goes, "I thought if maybe I added him on Facebook, he would leave," and he did. Okay. However, court documents show after Boyce left, he messaged her. Like, "What up, girl? How you living, dog?" Right? He goes, "You was too pretty to rob," along with saying he would pay her back. Boyce also asked her to come chill. "Hey, let's chill, bruh. Let's hang out." Makes me a little on edge knowing that people walk up and down the streets looking for places to commit crimes, she said. It makes it a little different when you hear noises at night. Now that, I believe, is the humdinger story that I got for you all. But let me read this. Programming on Radio Free Fargo is being underwritten by Willow Health, LLC, offering regular checkups, chronic disease management, long-term primary care for cancer survivors, and as-needed care, providing longitudinal care for all ages. You can call to learn which health insurance providers they work with and to set up an appointment. 701-658-5577. They're located at 4133 30th Avenue South, Suite 103, Fargo, 58104. Website, www.willowhealthllc.com. Now, my daughter likes songs with words. This song here that I'm going to play does not have words. Okay? It doesn't have words. But I would argue that when you hear this song, you hear the words in your head, which is about the same thing. Here's Kenny and the Jets, Fearless Flyers. That there is Kenny and the Jets by the Fearless Flyers here on KRWF 95.9. You've been listening to What in the World with Wilson. I'm Wilson. Station is 95.9. I'll be back in next Thursday, 4 o'clock. Coming up after me is Stinky Ott's Music Mart, so stay tuned for that. I am a many-year junkie who's been clean for 4 years, I believe, by the power of the man upstairs, and I show him props every Sunday. Antioch Church, 417 Main Avenue, 10 a.m. We do a recovery class. If you have a monkey on your back or you've kicked the monkey off your back, but you can feel the little banana eater pulling on your pant leg, come on through. This show is brought to you by Black Cottage Alchemy. Black Cottage Alchemy on Facebook, 1,300 mgs of locally grown hemp, whipped up into a fun tub with other stuff in it, comfrey, colloidal, stuff for your outer body, buddy. Thank you, Black Cottage Alchemy, for sponsoring this show. Again, Stinky Arts Music Mart is on deck. I'm going to wrap this show up with some facts that are crazy. This is a list of 100 crazy facts. And we won't get through them all, but we are going to cruise through a few. And I would imagine, and it's funny, all you weirdos Probably no. The first one. Animals that lay eggs don't have belly buttons, which kind of makes sense, I feel. Boanthropy is the psychological disorder in which patients believe they are a cow. Let me just say that again. Boanthropy is the psychological disorder in which people believe they're cows. Camels have 3 eyelids. Did you know that, huh? How about this? There's a McDonald's on every continent, okay, except Antarctica. Now, is it too cold for crappy food? I don't know. They probably got that figured out. I love you, Antarctica. Mosquitoes are attracted to people who just ate bananas, because I think they're addicted to potassium. In South Korea, before I forget, vote yes, Measure 5. Legalize recreational cannabis in the state of North Dakota, November 5th. Vote yes on Measure 5. I believe it should be accessible to everybody, medically. And it's just easier to just make it recreational instead of all the hoops you got to hop through. It's a medical benefit that should be more accessible. If you can get an aspirin in the store, you should be able to get a pre-roll at the store. Can I get an amen? In South Korea, there is an emergency number to report suspected spies. What? It's 113. So there you go. Cats can make more than 100 vocalizations. Sonic the Hedgehog's full name. Oh, dude, are you guys ready? Again, anybody out there know the hedgehog's full name? It's Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog. Ogilvy Maurice. The world's termites outweigh the world's human about 10 to 1. What? Most toilet paper sold in France is pink. Now, the Hawaiian alphabet only has 12 letters. Did you know that? Now, here's a something for you. The human nose can remember 50,000 different scents. I don't know about that, but my nose remembers the smell of cocaine. Children tend to grow faster in the spring. I think because that's just how it works. Let's see what else we got here. Now, this is just crazy. If you keep a goldfish in a dark room, it will eventually turn white. Bullfrogs do not sleep. A snail breathes through its foot. What? That's crazy. Now, this is interesting. It took the creator of the Rubik's Cube 1 month to solve the cube after he created it. Japanese square watermelons aren't edible. They are purely ornamental. Oh, square watermelon. Tigers have striped skin, not just striped fur. The stripes are like fingerprints. Elephants are the only mammal that can't jump. All right. Canned baked beans aren't baked, buddy. They're stewed. Deal with it. All right. Sunsets on Mars are blue. That'd be cool. Now, this is interesting. Alligators will give manatees the right of way if they're swimming near each other. Hey, you guys go ahead. Go ahead. Digging a hole to China is actually possible if you start in Argentina. Man, this is crazy. Mosquitoes have 47 teeth, people. A quarter of the bones in your body are in your feet. Did you know your brain waves can be used to power an electric train? I did. Pigs can get sunburned. Oh, I bet they are tastier. The Boston Marathon didn't allow female runners until 1972. A one-day weather forecast requires about 10 billion math calculations. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Bluetooth technology was named after a 10th century king. Did you guys know that? King Harold Bluetooth Gormison. So there you go. Now, how many animal shapes are there in the Animal Cracker Zoo? I'll tell you, 19. There's a river called Big Ugly Creek in West Virginia. Now, this is going to scramble your brain a little. You, and that's you, share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world. Okay. And we're just at 41, people. I'm going to jump out of here pretty soon. Man, what? In Slovakia, they have Christmas carp that live in the bathtub for a few days before they're eaten. Ever wondered how many grooves there were on a quarter? 119. Okay. The state of Ohio gives out different colored license plates for those with a Dewey conviction. Oh. Now, again, I've never read this list because I have ADHD. If I read the list, it'd be too boring to read again. Oysters can change from one gender to another and back again. Alaska has more caribou than people. If you were in Estes Park, Colorado, which my daughter and I were a few years back, those caribou are everywhere. And they roost. Did you know that? The caribou, they go out, they do their thing, they're gone. And then in the evening, they're everywhere in that town. They're eating out of the Dollar Tree dumpster. They're just living under trees at the hotel. They're everywhere. You know? Dead people can get goosebumps. Did you know that? Of course you didn't. Now, how about this? The Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. A 10-gallon hat holds less than a gallon. How fast does an average raindrop fall, my friends? 7 miles an hour. Lizards communicate by doing push-ups. Of course they do. Of course they do. The average American will eat 35,000 cookies in their lifetime. That's like quite a bit of cookies. All right. Now, dogs have been banned from Antarctica since April 1994 out of concern that dogs might spread diseases to seals. And it's a valid concern. I'm concerned. Smelling apples or bananas can help you lose weight. Did you know that? In 1998, more than 50% of Iceland's population believed in the existence of elves. We're going to get to 60, and then I think maybe we'll cover some more next week. Beavers were once the size of bears. Good night. That's crazy. The square dance is the official state dance of Washington. Let's see. A single strand of spaghetti is called a spaghetto. And there you have it. You've been listening to What in the World with Wilson. I'm Wilson. I've enjoyed giving you this information today. I hope you guys use it for whatever reason or not. I'll be back next Thursday. Right after me is Stinky Arts Music Mart. Again, vote yes on Measure 5 in the state of North Dakota, November 5th. Make sure you vote, too, for other stuff, like maybe the president if you want. You know, maybe you should do that. All right? Well, I don't know. I got nothing for you people, so I'm going to jump out. It sure has been good. I've had a good time. And I'll see you next week when I find enough crazy stuff to talk about. All right? So, again, Stinky Arts Music Mart on deck. There's other stuff on Thursday. Don't forget Fridays. And the rest of the week here on KRFF 95.9. RadioFreeFargo.org. Be good to yourselves. And be good to each other. And don't. And remember to breathe. I'm out. Peace.